Good afternoon, people. It's Sunday and we're back with another live session of Real Relevant and Right Now. And today we've got a wicked guest from Philly in the States called Trish Jane. So I am just going to wait for her to join us. And we're going to be talking all about her music, you know, her artistry, growth, self-transformation. Hey Sarah, hey Indra, lovely to see you both. I love you guys, you're here every week. This makes me so happy. But yeah, so it should be a really, really good show. Thank you, Sarah, for that little compliment right there. Oh, and there's Rebecca. Hey Bex, love you. But yes, as I was saying, we've got Trish on the show today. We're going to be talking all about her new EP, Spare Change. And yeah, I'm really excited to get her on. So we will just wait. And I'm hoping we've got the, thanks Indra, timing's right. Because I know before, like the whole UK, US thing, it went a bit, no, she's here. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Super. So I am going to, or Trish, if you request to join the video, then I can get you. There we go. Beautiful. Should be on real soon. But how is everyone? I hope you all had a wicked Sunday. I don't know about you, but I've been attacked. Hey! Oh, Trish, we're like, you're sideways.
Oh, no.
That's better. Amazing.
Oh, my gosh. Like, I have this tripod here, and it is... Hold on.
Don't worry. I know it could be like the worst thing, getting everything set up. How are you? You're looking beautiful.
Thank you. I put a little lipstick on for you guys today.
Oh, so did I. Love it. You're looking great. Literally.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you so much. Well, welcome to the show. This is Real Relevant and Right Now. I'm Kirsty Spence, and everybody that's tuned in at the moment, this is Trish Jane. And today, like I said before, we're going to be talking all about her new EP, her artistry, self-growth, transformation, fears, obstacles. We're just going to dive into the world of Trish. So, Trish, I'm going to hand over to you. Like, give everybody that's listening right now a little bit of an introduction about you and who you are.
Okay, so yes, I am from West Philly, born and raised. And I'm a singer-songwriter who... I have just released my EP, my first project, which is very exciting. And I also released a single. So my first EP dropped like a couple days before the lockdown. Like I dropped it and it was like the next day we were quarantined and it was like
everything shut down.
Yeah, the world just went crazy. And I was like, it was like really hard to really absorb it all and really enjoy it, I guess, the way I would if there was no quarantine. But I'm still very excited about that. I also dropped a single last month.
Okay.
So it's all, you know, moving slowly, but moving. But I got here into the world of art through my mother and my aunt were performers for my whole life. They ran a performing arts school where I was basically raised.
Okay, so you've been around music and the theatrics like pretty much from day dot.
From day one, for sure.
Okay.
And, I just knew through them that I could do this. I could provide for my family. I could have a career in art. So I'm on this journey now after a few years of not really believing I could do it, but then that, you know, that thing that you knew when you were younger eventually comes back and you're like, you know what, yes, I can do this. And so my goal is just to keep speaking my truth through my music and maybe speak some other people's truths as well, be a voice of those who are unheard. And I'm still here and I have no plans of giving up. So that's it.
No, and I love that. And I love that about your energy, Trish, because I feel like, you know, I've listened to the EP and I said to you before, my favorite song is Seedless Minds. Like, how you gonna grow? I've been jamming to it all day. Like, I can't tell you. I think it's lyrically, that song is one of my favorites, but it's also that bass. I love a wicked bass line. Oh my gosh. You know, it's like, I just want to keep, it's like I want to keep taking it back, restarting it. It's just such a wicked song. But I from listening to your EP, the reflection that I get, just going back to you talking about, you know, believing in yourself and stuff, the reflection that I really got from your EP is that you are so on this journey of growth, you know, and we have to start somewhere, like you say. Like, what would be some of the obstacles you feel that you found within your artistry that you've overcome?
The biggest obstacle would have to be myself.
Okay.
It's almost like as soon as I open my mouth, the doors begin to open, and very quickly, not faster than I thought they would. But the only thing that's stopping me is me. The only thing that could hold me back is me. I can't even believe the opportunities that I have right now. And there are even things that I can honestly say I'm dragging my feet on, and still having those moments of, am I good enough? And should I continue? You know, that
as we all do.
Yeah. And I learned.
It's like the little, sorry, carry on.
No, you're right. I learned that I'm not the only one in this. And that just comes from meeting people like you and different artists and just talking about what we're going through. I realized that this just comes with it. And I just have to learn not how to get rid of it, but to continue with it. So to me, that's the biggest obstacle, is just fighting through the fear or the uncertainty and doing it anyway.
Yeah. 100%. And I feel like with what you were saying before, it's like, I know I've experienced it, and I'm sure you have. It's like this little voice in your head of self-doubt.
Yeah.
You know, like when you just start hearing these things, and then all of a sudden it's like boundary against boundary, and it's like you're just getting further and further away from the direction that you were traveling in. And it's kind of like you have to check yourself and say, hey, like, if that little voice in your head that brings up that self-doubt, what are the kind of things that it says to you?
Oh my goodness. Terrible things. like I'm my biggest hater. I don't see any haters around but myself. And just about, you know, I noticed that I have a unique sound. My style is unique. It's not something that I ever really realized before. I never thought of myself in that way. But just from feedback and different experiences, I'm learning that I'm different. And those voices telling me that I need to be like a certain way, or I need to have a certain look, those are the most damaging sometimes.
100%.
Yeah, until you can really just get out of it and just accept your getting out and performing and doing things is what really helps you cope with that. Just learning that people like you for you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear you completely. And it's almost like, I don't know, like for me, those self-doubt things sometimes can be, which, like you say, it's comparing yourself. You know, one of the biggest lessons I've learned is stay in your lane, because only you know who you are. Exactly. Like, people can see an aspect of you, you know, we're all diamonds, we've got many faces, but it's like, I know who I am and I know the journey that I want. And sometimes it's not saying that we don't want to accept help from the outside, but it's kind of like when you kind of start listening and really absorbing, it's like you then dilute yourself and you completely then can find yourself lost. Like, you know, this is not what I wanted to do. This is not where I wanted to be.
Right.
Do you feel, yeah, no, completely. Do you feel like you've ever been boxed into like a genre or a certain thing in a certain way that you feel that you should have been like, or do you feel that now where you're at within your artistry, you're very much in control of like the sound that you're wanting to create and, you know, the persona of you that you're wanting to put out there?
So I always found myself having friends who grew up in like really musical churches, and they have that gospel sound or just the style, and it's amazing. You know, that's like the best style of singing. And, you know, I have felt that I needed to, you know, be more like them, but I just didn't. I grew up in church, but I just didn't grow up in that type of church. And I had to not even allow other people to box me in and thinking I needed to sound, you know, like them. You know, like, you need to do it like this, or you need to do it like that, and not allow myself to box myself in that way. Just understand that there's different forms of music. There's different ways of singing. Even if I do want to sing about God or anything spiritual, I can do it in my way. I can use my own sound and voice to do that. So, yeah, I've definitely felt boxed in the gospel, more spiritual style of music.
And it's like now you're breaking out. Like, this is me, the
Yeah.
world. This is Trish Jane.
Yeah.
No, and I love that. I love that. I feel like within your artistry and within your music and what I've heard, there's a real authenticity about you. And that for me is something that I love. Like, it's just something that I personally love when it comes to artists. Like, if I can really feel an authenticity about that person, and when that person is singing or performing, it touches my heart. It's like mind blowing. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? That for me is like such a unique selling point where I'm like, I am so your number one fan. I want to buy the albums. I want to follow your journey. That for me is something that's really important. Do you feel that that's something important to you and Trish Jane and, you know, everything that you've got coming on this journey so far, to be authentic to yourself?
It is very important. You know, I came in really focused on the vocal part of it, you know, trying to be the best, sing the right notes, do the right runs. And then I quickly learned that people really connect with an artist through their personal journey and their personal experience. So I began to really, you know, have a lot of people telling me, you need to post more, you need to put more out there. And I found that I was private. I didn't even know that about myself. So that was kind of even a challenge to, like, wait, I have to like open up. I have to do all of this to be an artist. I thought I just had to sing. And not that I didn't want to put it in my music. It's very important to be authentic musically. But nowadays we're in a realm where, you know, people get to see your day-to-day lives. They get to come into your home and see who you are. So you also have to be on social media. You have to be authentic in your pictures and like in all areas. So it is very important. And I know that some of the artists that I know and love, I love them because of who they are just as much as the music. So
as the music. Yeah, it's like a whole package, right?
Definitely.
Completely. And just touching upon social media, because I know for me, especially in lockdown, it's been pretty overwhelming because it's like the entire world has gone to social media as an outlet because it's the only thing we've been able to do. It's the only way we can communicate. And, you know, as an artist and as a singer, it's been the only way you've been able to perform if that's what you've wanted to do. Like, how have you found the constraints of like social media within your artistry? Like you said, you know, you're quite private and needing to post more. Like, has it affected you? Have you felt overwhelmed in any way?
Yes, very overwhelmed. I mean, in the beginning, it was just a huge shock, you know, because it's not just that, you know, everyone's on lockdown. It's like people are dying, you know. People are, I'm afraid of catching this thing. I'm afraid of my parents or any, you know, people that I'm close to being affected by this. So initially I just needed to be still. I needed to not really put the pressure on myself to perform, create. I just didn't really feel like it was the time for that. So I haven't really, this is actually my first live ever.
No way.
Never ever been on live.
I feel so privileged. Literally, like, this is amazing.
The first time. And I have been taking this quarantine as an opportunity to grow some skills. I've been playing the guitar. I've been trying to keep fit and just heal. You know, Lauryn Hill says, how you going to win when you ain't right within? And you know, I felt like this was just an amazing opportunity to get right, you know, really figure out what angle I want to take and which way I want to go. And that way, when this is over and it is time to get out there, I'm going to be right inside. So my message is going to be that much more thorough, you know.
100%. Yeah. And I think, you know what, it's actually been really refreshing hearing you say that, because I feel like that is, you know, a lot of people have been messaging me, Kirsty, you've got all this time, like, why aren't you putting music out? Why? And it's kind of like, because actually there's been such a heavy energy. And like you said, there's been a lot going on in the world. You know, people have been dying. There's been a lot of sadness. There's been a lot going on politically. There's been a lot of human rights movements with like Black Lives Matter. And, you know, there's been so much turbulence that actually for me, it's like I've needed to go within for me so that I know when I'm ready, I can shine out.
Yeah.
And I feel if I did it any other way, actually, for me personally, I just don't think I'd be able to hold my own. Do you know what I mean? At the end of this?
Yeah. And what's the rush, you know?
100%. And I think, yeah, it is. And it's actually, you even just saying that to me has just made me like recheck myself. Like, say, because again, you know, we're human. That small voice of self-doubt can creep in, and you can be like, well, maybe I should be doing a lot more, or maybe, and it's actually like, no, like, what is the rush? Because this is my journey, same as you are on your own journey, you know. And for me, it's never been about being the biggest superstar. Like, for me, music is like a spiritual outlet, you know. It's how I get whatever the feelings are that are going on inside me, how I get them out in an artistic and creative way. And, you know, hopefully within that, it can inspire other people or touch other people, make them feel an emotion. That's what it is for me. What is your artistry for you?
Wow, very similar. Very, like, almost identical. It's just really,
I love it.
You know, I was feeling the heaviness of you know, all that's going on with human rights and everything before, you know, the recent events.
Yes.
And I was in my own comfort zone, in my own space, going on the rants and speaking about it, but never like doing it outward. And I had a personal conversation, spiritual prayer, asking what I could do. I didn't want to just be someone who just listened and talked about it to their friends. I wanted to be a part of the movement. I really want, you know, you look back at history and you try to find yourself. Who am I? Who am I going to be years from now? Are they going to know that I was here and I was helping? And when I asked what should I do, the message I received was to use your superpower. You don't have to do what everyone else is doing. Use your own superpower. And then I had to figure out what that was. But when you know who you are, sometimes we don't want to accept it. But I said, okay, I know that. I know this thing that I need to do. And I accepted the challenge of using that to, you know, put out the messages and share the stories. And if you listen to the EP, a lot of the songs, there's a song about Khalid Browder, you know, there's a song about issues between a man and a woman, and different things that I felt like for myself needed to be shared. So I'm using my gifts and using that as a platform and an opportunity to just share everything that I'm going through, my story, and those who are no longer able to speak.
Yes. No, and I love that, Trish. And I think that, you know, when you're somebody who is putting themselves on a platform, yourself as a singer-songwriter, do you feel, because I definitely feel it, but do you feel, and I feel like your answer is definitely going to be yes, because it is literally what you've just said, but, you know, a sense of responsibility for the unheard? You know, like do you know what I mean? And I feel like that must really drive you even more, no?
Yes, I definitely feel like any artist is a storyteller at the end of the day. And, you know, if your story, the story that you choose to tell, you know, should, you know, reflect the times. Like Nina Simone said, that's the job of an artist, to reflect the times. And I really, really believe that. So, yes, I definitely feel it is a responsibility for sure.
Yeah, no, and it's beautiful. And I think it's, as you say, you know, you've been given this gift. And, you know, you're using that gift not only to elevate yourself and to, you know, be on this journey of growth in which we are every single day. I don't believe that we ever stop growing or changing or, you know, because that is the world that we're living in. We're constantly on the move. But, yeah, I just think that's really important. And I just think it's such a special thing to have, you know, because like I've said before, not everybody can sing. And not everybody can have whatever talent it is that they have. So the fact that you've got it and that you're, you know, breaking through these boundaries. I know you touched upon fear before, and you said, you know, you've grown up in like a musical household and stuff. Has fear ever impacted your artistry in the sense where you've really felt like, I know this is what I need to do, but I can't do it right now?
Oh yeah. Like I've literally only been on this journey for 2 years now because of fear. Because of years and years of just like petrified to get on stage, petrified to sing. I shared with you before that my mother didn't know I could sing until I went to college. And my whole family was like completely shocked because I was. And sometimes coming from a musical theater makes you that much more fearful because everyone's so good and you're trying to live up to a certain standard. So yes, fear has held me back a lot, but not just the fear of failing. I've also had a fear of succeeding and what's success entail. Like, what would I have to do if I become really great? What does that mean? You know. So I actually wrote a song about it's called Fear of Flying that I should be releasing soon. That talks about that. And,
really?
Yes.
But you know what? It's like, oh, I feel like I'm talking to like, we've been living like parallel lives, Trish. Like, it's crazy because it's like I've had these thoughts, and you know, there's times where I think to myself like, curse, like, really? And it is. It's almost like you said, you know, when I get to be in that like level of success, it's like sometimes that can actually really scare me in thinking, you know, am I going to be ready for it? Am I going to be able to handle it? Because that's like leveling up to a whole different realm from where we're at. You know, you're now like playing with the big boys, and it's like,
and that's true. I never really hear people talk about that fear, you know.
Yeah.
And it was like me putting it out there. I began to realize that I wasn't the only one who had that fear. So that's the beauty of sharing. Beauty of
100%. Yeah, definitely. And I think, you know, again, it's like I say, this is the whole reason behind why I started Real Relevant and Right Now, because I just feel like the more that we can talk about whatever it is that is within us, on our chests, on our hearts and our minds, the more that actually we'll probably relate to so many other people and be like, okay, so I'm not crazy, or this isn't just me. And when you kind of get that sense of like, okay, I'm not the only, it kind of gives you a bit of, I suppose, like confidence, I suppose, to continue on your journey, you know. It's like it just helps you navigate.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Which is, no, definitely, which is great. And I love that. And you talking about as well, you know, you came from a musical family and the pressure, like I bet that you felt a hell of a lot of pressure. And I just think it's really admirable of you that you have decided to actually, like you said before, when the time was right for you to take this journey. Because I think that maybe if you'd done it before, you wouldn't be the person that you are today and the artist that you are today. Oh, I feel like we may have just lost you.
Sorry, you're breaking up.
Are you back? Trish, you back with us?
I'm here.
Hello?
I'm here.
Okay, cool. We're back.
Can you see me?
Cool. Yeah, I can see you. Yeah, so sorry, I was just saying, you know, do you feel like you embraced your artistry at the exact right time that it was for you?
Definitely. I really, really do.
Yeah.
It's funny. When I was 15 years old, I just wanted to sing so bad, and I just privately just asked God, like, when are you going to ever remove this fear from me? Am I going to ever be free of this? And the answer was yes, but I'm not ready for you yet. And even though you know how you hear messages or you get feelings, but you're not sure if it's real or where it's really coming from. So I really, really hold on to that. I, you know, kept on doing my thing and trying my best, but it happened. It literally happened, you know, later in life at a time where I was just mature and ready. And, you know, I have a degree in business, so I'm not coming in without any understanding of how things work, you know, which I appreciate. So definitely, I do feel like this is a perfect time in my life for me to do and share.
And can I ask you, like, do you remember when you kind of had that conversation with yourself and you were like, I'm overcoming this. Fear needs to get out the window. Like, this is now what I need to do.
Yes. I mean, I think I've had that conversation with myself a few different times. Yeah, definitely. Even getting back into the studio. The studio was a very, very scary experience. It was like, I mean, I was like literally in the booth, nervous with butterflies in my stomach. Like the entire EP I recorded 2 years ago. And that was literally the beginning. And I even had moments where I was like, I don't even want to share this because I've grown so much since then. But it's that importance of putting out that initial experience, you even said that you noticed that that was a time of growth for me. So if I hadn't have put that out there, then you wouldn't be able to see my journey. You wouldn't be able to see the progress. So, yeah, I don't know if I answered your question. I think I went
No,
off.
you did completely, and I think that I really totally agree and admire you know, telling us that you wrote the EP 2 years ago, and that is one of the first things that I felt, because from speaking with you and the energy that I picked up with you when we had a little conversation, it's like I feel like you're so grounded. Whereas listening to the EP, it was like you were beginning. It was like the beginning of this journey, and this journey is nowhere near over. Do you know what I mean? Like, it has only just begun, but that's very much what I picked up from listening to your music within the EP. It was like, okay, this is when she's like, hey, I'm about to explore myself, my artistry, and we're going to get into a vibe, you know? And I just, like, I'm so excited to hear what else you're going to come up with, Trish, because I just love your music. I love your soul vibe. Like, for me, anything soul is just, do you know what I mean?
Me too.
But, no, 100%. And you can hear that in your voice, like, completely. You can hear that in your style, you know. But what I also love is that you've got, I'd say, like, soul is like the main foundation from what I've heard from the EP anyway. But then it's like you spiral off of all these branches. You know, there's elements of hip hop, you know, you've got the R&B vibe. What were your musical influences growing up?
Oh, my goodness. Well, I call my genre jazzy hip hop soul, first of all.
I love it. I love it.
Like,
get it all in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it all in there together. But Lauryn Hill, definitely. Oh my gosh. Bill Withers, rest in peace. India Arie, Nina Simone, Erykah Badu, Jill Scott. But I also have been influenced by hip hop artists like Nas and Lupe Fiasco. I love their art of telling stories, and their technique is just amazing. The way they're able to paint the story. So, yeah.
No, completely. And I love Nas is one of my favorite rappers, literally. And again, it's the storytelling. It's like, for me, even if you weren't a hip hop lover, you listen to one of his songs and it's like you're hooked from beginning to end, because you want to know what happens in the story.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? No, definitely. So Trish, let's get on to the amazing EP, Spare Change. First and foremost, I want to ask you, where did you come up with the song?
With the song?
Sorry, with the name of the EP, Spare Change.
So, I'm from Philadelphia. I don't know how much you know about Philadelphia, but it's a major city, a lot of poverty, and honestly, when I walk out the door, I can't go too far without people asking me for change.
Really?
I mean, I even have said, like, if I give everyone change, by the time I get home, I'm not going to have any money. It's a lot. It's a lot. And, you know, I noticed that I go on social media, everyone's asking for change, you know, the change of their lives, or changing the environment, the news. It's just everyone's asking for change right now in their own way. And this project for me was me asking for change, and me basically putting in my 2 cents. So it's just like a metaphor for the change that we're all asking for, and my personal request for change.
No, I love that, because I really, when I listened to the EP, I was like, what? I could not make the connection. Like, how is she tying Spare Change into this particular EP? So to hear that, you know, that's actually beautiful to know that you live in an area in Philly where there's a lot of poverty. So it's something you're physically seeing every day. And like you say, right now, we are all asking for change, and it's a lot of positive change that we need, you know, and it just makes so much sense. Now you've explained that to me, and the fact that you are changing as we are ever evolving. It's just amazing.
Exactly.
Complete. Yeah, 100%, definitely. And Trish, I want to ask you, like, what do you know now that you didn't know 2 years ago within yourself? Wow.
I learned a lot about myself. I learned that I was in a class, actually, a performing arts class. And one of the teachers, she said to me, she said, I feel like you don't think that what you have to say is important, or that people need to hear it. You know, she said, you kind of you keep things to yourself, and you kind of listen. And I've always considered myself to be someone who's observant and just kind of just sits in the back and listens until, you know, I really feel like speaking. But that really spoke to me. I mean, I was really emotional after that because I said, you know what, I think I do feel like that what I have to say is not very valuable or very important to share all the time. And just learning so much about my personal self through this journey has been amazing. Even in performing, just I didn't realize I cared that much about what other people think. I just didn't think you know, it's, oh my gosh, it's just so many things I've learned that I know now that I didn't know back then. It's really hard to pinpoint just one major thing.
One thing. No, I completely hear you. I understand. It's a lot when you are going through that transition, and you said something before, you know, when you kind of had to check yourself. It's like when you look in the mirror and you have that conversation with self, and it's like, you know, even you just saying you didn't realize how much you cared about what other people think. Even that in itself is a massive thing that a lot of us would never admit. Right. You know, and I think that's the beauty of everything. Like, that's something that right now in your life, hey, I do care about what people think. So, you know, the elements of my performance, my music, how I sound, maybe how I look is important to me, and that's okay. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I think that's a key thing is accepting it. Yeah,
that's it right there. And just deciding you're going to do it no matter what, and that you can't please everyone, you know. Yeah. I think that was a goal before as well. Like, how can I fit everybody in and include everyone?
Yes.
But I can't. I just can't do it. And now that I know that, I feel so much freer knowing that now.
Definitely. And I feel like when you're talking about people pleasing, I know for me, like, I definitely went through that stage probably about 10 years ago where I was very much on that energy of like, I need to do that for this person, that person, this person, that person. And then it kind of got to a point where I was like, I am so drained right now. Yeah. And I'm not giving my love to myself, you know, and that, you know, people might say, oh, you're selfish. But actually, you know, we have a real negative connotation around the word selfish. Oh, we may have lost you. Are you with us, Trish? Yep, she's with us. I feel like there's a really, okay, cool. There's a really kind of negative connotation to the word selfish, but I think that there's absolutely nothing wrong with being selfish when it comes to you looking after yourself, you know. And unfortunately, everybody else, you just need to wait.
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, completely. Trish, as I've already said in this interview so far, my favorite track on the EP is Seedless Minds. Can you tell us a little bit about the process behind you writing that song? Because everyone needs to get this EP, by the way. Hello, it's available on all streaming platforms, and it's called oh my gosh, sorry, Spare Change. Everything just fell. Are you still with me? Yes. Okay, we're here.
Am I breaking up?
Yeah, it's like but I can hear you, but we can't see you.
No? Oh my goodness.
Can you see me? Like, I can see you, but it's really blurred. But I can hear you. That's the main thing. We can hear you.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
are you with us?
I'm here.
You can see me. Yeah. No, I got you. Don't worry. Listen, it's live. This is what it's about. It's the beauty of live. It can't be perfect. But so tell us about the process behind writing Seedless Minds, because it's one of my favorite tracks.
Awesome. Well, to be honest, that was like one of the first songs I recorded, and Dre Scuffs actually wrote that song, and I did the bridge.
Wow. No way.
Yeah.
And we had Dre on a few weeks ago. To anyone here that's watching who would have seen the interview, Dre Scuffs was on a few weeks back. So that's amazing.
Yeah, it was an amazing collab. You know, I want to be one of those artists who can write, but can also take a good song and, you know, use that as well and be able to perform. And I thought it was amazing. He played it for me again 2 years ago. It was actually released in 2018. And that was a roller coaster. I was so afraid to share that. And, but it was awesome. I prayed a long time ago for someone to come and take me.
Oh, Trish, we've lost you. Okay. Oh no. Hopefully you'll be back. Are you there? Trish, can you hear me? Sorry, guys, this is live. Bear with us. Hey,
I can hear
yes,
you.
I think we got you back. Yep.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So yeah, I
Okay,
was just
super.
saying
We're
that.
back.
So yeah, he sent me that track and I loved it, and it's just history from there. Everything else kind of came behind that song.
Behind that song. And
Yeah.
where it just cut off then, Trish, you were talking about how you prayed for someone to kind of take you under their wing and then it cut off. Will you just explain what you were saying? Because it sounded really interesting.
Yeah, I wanted to, because you want to become an artist, but then it's like, how? What do I do now? And I Googled it, but it didn't really help at all.
Good old
So
Google.
yeah, it didn't work. So, Dre Scuffs is somebody who I've known for a long time. And it's one of those things where you think because you can sing, people will reach out to you. But if you're not putting yourself out there, no one cares, So
Yeah.
I began to put myself out there, and he immediately reached out to me and started to work with me and really pushed me. And I'm super, super grateful for that. I really took advantage of it, because he used to tell me, I can do this for anybody, but if they're not going to take advantage, it doesn't matter. And
Yeah.
yeah, so that song was the beginning.
No, amazing. So that's where everything started. So, Trish, the last thing I want to ask you, because I'm just conscious of time, what does Trish Jane have planned for us for the next 6 months? Oh no, I think we've lost you again.
Really?
Wait, we're kind of getting you, and then it's kind of going. Yeah, okay, I got you. It's okay.
Hear me?
This happens. It's
terrible.
live. It's fine. It's the beauty of life.
Yeah, but
Oh, can you hear me,
told
Trish?
you recently, I can hear you.
Okay, super.
I can.
I think we're back with you.
Yeah. So, yes, I was saying, I told you recently I went into the woods and I had some time to just really reflect and relax in the rain. And I feel so rejuvenated now. I feel like the past 2 months of me just being silent and me practicing and all of that was very beneficial to the next stage of where I'm going to take this. And you guys can just expect more music from a variety of different producers. I'm working with a couple different people from different countries, and I'm really excited about that. I plan to do a lot more on social media and put a lot more out, definitely. But yeah, just look out for just more creativity. I'm not sure what's going to come. I'm very free in this journey, so but I know something's coming for sure.
Yes, I love that. No, I love that 100%. And boy, you are on the radar, and everybody that's here, you really need to listen to Trish's EP Spare Change, which is available on all streaming platforms. And it's just a wicked EP. Like, if you love that soulful R&B kind of hip hop vibe and that jazz as well, you've got such a jazz undertone to you, to your artistry as well, Trish, which I love. But just before we go, I really want to ask you if you could give our listeners, your fans, any words of encouragement, especially because of the, in the midst of the time we're living in at the moment and how hard it's been for everybody. What words of encouragement does Trish Jane have for us today?
Well, first of all, thank you guys for joining and listening. And thank you for having me. I really, really love what you're doing.
Thank you so much. It's been amazing to have you on the show.
Yes. I hope to be back. But,
no, definitely. And I think as well, I just want to say thank you to you, because I feel like we've got a great connection. So I'm actually really looking forward to where our relationship's going to go, actually. I'm excited. So we will definitely hear more from you, Trish.
It will definitely continue.
Yes.
But if I could give some encouraging words, it would be to relieve the pressure from yourself, the pressure to perform right now, to act right now. We all need to heal. We all need to, COVID is not the only thing that could take you out of here. Stress, high levels of stress, doubt, depression, you know, really, really work on yourself. We now have the time to do things that we never had the time, maybe have never had the time to do before. So use that as an opportunity, even if that is just to sit still and it's okay. Take the pressure and the weight off of you. It'll get busy again. I truly believe so.
So do I.
Definitely.
I think you're right.
Yes.
Yeah, take time and just be, like you say. And I think going out to the forest and being with nature is something that I could so do right now for my soul. I bet you are so recharged.
I am definitely recharged, and I'll be back soon.
No, definitely. Amazing. And Trish, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here. Someone's just asked a question. Do not feel any kind of pressure, but they have asked. It's actually Sarah Harbs that said, "Can we hear you sing?"
Yes, well, hopefully it doesn't. I'm always worried about singing on live because of the connections and it not really giving you the full thing. But let me think.
Just a quick minute or something for us to hear your beautiful voice would be amazing.
Okay, I'm thinking something that is maybe relevant to what we're talking about. Okay, I got something.
Cool.
Sorry, I live in the city. Y'all hear a motorcycle driving, going past.
It's all right. Don't worry.
Okay. My eyes ain't used to these rays. I'm feeling exposed, but I can't hide no more. I can't hide. As the sun falls all over my glory, my flaws don't look so bad at all. What was I so afraid of? 'Cause every part of me is a vision of a portrait Mona Lisa. Every part of me is beautiful, and I finally see I'm a work of art, I'm a masterpiece.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that was absolutely beautiful. You have a voice of an angel, Trish. You are a work of art. You are a masterpiece, baby. Keep singing. Oh my God, literally keep shining your light, queen, fully, because everyone down here is just saying yes, wow, amazing voice, wicked interview. What a beautiful person. You know, there's so much positive vibes going on right now, literally, Trish. I just want to see you shine, and I want to see you keep doing what you're doing because it's amazing.
Thank you so much. I'm really enjoying this. So continue what you're doing. I love it. I really do.
Thank you so much. And I will. Trish, just before we go, where can everyone find you? Let everybody know where they can follow you on socials, etc., etc.
Yes, follow me on Instagram at WishTrish. That's WISHTRISH. And but my stage name is Trish Jane. So if you want to hear my music, I'm on all streaming platforms. Just look up Trish Jane everywhere else. That's all.
Super. Trish, you've been amazing. I'm Kirsty Spence. This is Real Relevant Right Now. This is Trish Jane. I thank you so much for coming on the show. And I will see you guys soon. Thank you so much, Trish. Lots of love.
Love.
Bye. Bye.